Okay, I want to show you something right here. If you could just do this one thing, and I think you'd be pretty far ahead in your trading, and it's pretty simple because the signals are pretty obvious. So for this, I use the QQQ or SPY, but I tend to use the cubes. 30 minutes. Okay, I use the Super Trend 1.0. You could see I'm going to turn it off and turn it on. That gives you the spikes and the trailers that tell you, help you know when you get in and whatnot. Then I use the CM Ultimate MAMTF and turn that on and off so you can see what's going on here. And the VWAP. Okay. Now the signal is the VWAP along with these spikes. So let's begin. So when the VWAP is underneath the control line after a green spike, that's a buy signal. Okay? So once again, here's the VWAP. All right, I'm gonna make that disappear and reappear. Okay. When it's below the control line, which is this, the main line of the stock, when it's below the control line, and it's below it after a green spike, that is a buy. And I tend to hold that until there's an event where the VWAP crosses above it. Okay, and then that's when I tend to get out. And the best time is right after a switch from a red spike to a green spike or green spike to a red spike. All right, so the VWAP was underneath the control line at the green spike, the switch over, so that's a purchase. And when the VWAP crosses the control line, that's a sell. So now let's go over here and see, should we have gotten in over here? Because now with the red spike, the VWAP has to be above the control line, okay? And it's a sell when it's below. It's just the mirror opposite of this. All right, now we're seeing here the VWAP didn't really go above the red control line, okay? It's sort of merged with it. It's not obvious enough, so we do nothing. So that is a do nothing. And then when it went to a green spike, we want to see, is it below it? So, because we're still out from that last time. So let's see. No, it's going along with it. And then, all right, so then there's a red spike. We do nothing yet. We want the VWAP above it. And, oh, there it is. It's above it. So let's see. VWAP. Yep. It's above the red line after a red spike, so that is a buy a put. And then right here, it went to the green, but it wasn't below it. So that's an ignore, because that, since it didn't go below the green and it was after a green spike, that's an ignore it. So all of a sudden it's back to red. We're still on the previous buy right here, and then here's the big drop where the red gets satisfied or played out. Okay, all of a sudden you got in a put right here, and it went down. And then when you get these are changeover points. See right here and right here, and then also right here. Let's look over more changeover points right here. So basically that says, hey, a new change is coming. Okay, so we're back to here, and so it's a pretty big drop. So you did pretty good on your puts, on your credit debit puts, because I don't use straight puts or calls anymore. I use credit debit, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video, because it really helps against erosion from theta. So back here, so then we're waiting. All right, we probably got out around here because we made 100%. And then, we're waiting for a couple days, and all of a sudden there's the changeover attention, something's coming. And then here's a green spike, okay? And you can see that the VWAP, is below the green spike and the control line. So that is an in. So, okay, over the course of the next day or two, the price jumps. And generally after a jump where I almost make 100% on the debit call, I get out, because the majority of things that will happen will be right after a changeover, because it's kind of like waves on a beach. Wave goes out, it hangs for a minute, it's stale, then it comes back in, and then it gets stale on the beach and starts rolling back. You don't want to catch something at the end of a trend, you want to catch something at the beginning of one. Alright, so let's look at this. So all of a sudden we get out. Now here's a red spike. Now the problem is the VWAP is below it. Okay, so we do nothing. until it crosses over. And do we want to count that as a crossover? Because that's really tight. Let's see. So what we'll do is enlarge it. Yep, it crossed over. So that's a purchase a put. So we purchase a put and we hold on to it, and then up there's a significant drop where it doubles, or if we feel balls we can hold it a little bit longer, and that's a double. And we get out on that. And basically, if you have 10 piles, if you want to be real safe, if you have 10 piles from your entire money that you have to trade with, you're never going to lose. You trade one pile at a time, 1/10 of your net sum, and you're going to be doing okay. And even if you go crazy and go 100% in all the time, you're still going to do pretty good, because after a new spike and after the VWAP crosses over above the CM, there's a drop, then the new spike right here, and the VWAP goes underneath, then there's a jump, and it tends to happen over again, and it's really safe. The only time I haven't seen that happen was today, when things got really crazy with the market. Right here, yesterday, towards the end of the day, there was a spike, and lo and behold, the VWAP was behind it. But then today the market dropped, but then it recovered, and the futures tomorrow look up, and I suspect that this will keep going, unless, of course, there's a Russian invasion, and then all bets are off, because news almost always trumps technicals. Technicals are basically a mathematical compressed algorithm of the state of the market as a whole. And then when you have a rogue news event, that will overcome that. But as it is right now, this is going to be going up tomorrow, possibly the day after. So that's how you do this, and that's how I trade with about 90% accuracy. All right, thank you.